Warmup, presented by your local North Texas GEICO Agents. It's our last show of the year, so let's take a look back at a fantastic season that we had. We had some amazing series played this year in district, and though all were good, none were as thrilling as the Duncanville-Richardson showdown in 8-6A. Duncanville and Richardson never were true rivals, but they may be after this year's battles. Clearly, the top two teams in District 8-6A, the Eagles and Panthers, had two epic contests this year. The first one was in Duncanville, where Richardson would command the game through 3 quarters behind the sophomore duo of Kason Wallace and Rylan Griffin. Duncanville would forge back in the 4th when Micah Peavy hit this baseline jumper as time expired. We headed to overtime. Wallace would go coast to coast to tie the game up with 6 seconds left in OT, but Peavy would win it for Duncanville when he picked up the loose ball and scored as time expired. In the second game, it was much of the same. The Eagles would lead by 8 at half thanks to 26 points by Griffin, but Peavy and Duncanville stormed back. Peavy scored 37 points and Duncanville led by 3 until Wallace hits this 3 to send it to overtime again. In OT, Griffin and Wallace would not let the Eagles lose, and they would split the series with an 81-77 win. Those games were some nail-biters, and ones we'll never forget here at Inside High School Sports. Another thing we'll never forget is when the Skyline Basketball team teamed up with our North Texas Honda dealers to read to some kids at the library.
Despite a valiant effort on the basketball court, it just was not Skyline's year. The Raiders fell a game short of the postseason, and instead of getting ready for a playoff run, they spent last Saturday packing up and listening to some words of encouragement from head coach Paul Graham.
All of you got a gift. Every one of you got a gift. My job is to unwrap the gift that you got and help you use the gift to give it back to somebody. And that's why I coach.
With it being the final days of Black History Month, Graham's speech did not pertain to the hardwood, but instead to life.
All you want is an equal chance. Now, we all are created equal, but we all are treated equal.
Graham dealt with segregation on a daily basis, growing up as a kid in Kansas City in the 50s and 60s. It was a type of discrimination his team has never seen. Today he preaches perseverance, pushing through despite what obstacles might come your way.
Don't let society and people dictate to you how to be the man that God meant for you to be. You need to define who you are, understand who you are, and develop our own system by doing the right things so you can get to where you want to go.
Paul Graham has had a very successful career as a coach at the high school and collegiate level, but it did not come easily. He was denied jobs because of the color of his skin, and today he wants his team to push forward and become leaders in their community. So he set up an opportunity for his kids to give back.
We're going to leave here and go over to the library. There's going to be a lot of little kids up there that look up to you, and they have a vision. Our job is to help them reach that vision. And I think trying to get our young guys to understand what it takes to be a successful man, more so than to be a successful jump shooter. Sooner or later, your jump shot is going to fade away. I thought my jump shot was going to last forever, and it's 50 years later, and I'm standing here before them to explain to them about the true meaning of life.
The Raiders headed over to the Skyline branch of the Dallas Public Library. What was waiting for them was several elementary school kids creating vision boards. The Raiders were alongside the North Texas Honda dealers guys who were there to help guide them in the right direction.
It's always good to make sure you push kids to do their dreams, and the vision board displayed that today. So we was pushing them to do what they want to do in life, and then this is their visual representation of what they wanted to do.
Yeah, it was a good feeling because I had someone do that to me when I was their age, so it felt good to get back to them and be in that position.
It's really neat to see everybody come together from different backgrounds, and you see all people that are on their way to success, and just getting creative and really kind of imagining what's the limit. We were working with Zoe and Zuli, and they were just super excited to just pull different things that were relatable to them.
It was a perfect way to be a strong role model to kids that may have needed someone to look up to, much like Coach Graham did when he was growing up.
Somebody did me like that. Somebody told me when a lot of situations said I couldn't do something, but somebody put their arm around me and said, yes, you can. And so I try to give that to my guys and let them go over to the library and they may see somebody who's going to be the next president of the United States.
That story is one of my favorites. Now let's see who will be crowned the Boys and Girls Inside High School Sports Player of the Year. Both of our Players of the Year come from the City of Champions, Duncanville basketball king and queen, Micah Peavy and Deja Kelly. Kelly had a phenomenal senior season. She averaged 23.6 points, 5 rebounds, and scored her 3,000th point. She also became a state champion and McDonald's All-American. And Peavy averaged 18 points a game and almost 8 rebounds. Peavy won state MVP and was hoping to add a state title to the list of achievements for his senior season. Good luck to Deja Kelly as she's going to UNC and Micah Peavy as he heads to Texas Tech in the fall and hopefully gets the chance to play for a state title when the UIL reschedules the state tournament. Now it's time for the extra point. To tip us off, we look back at the UIL director's announcement about postponing the state tournament.
Earlier today, we made the rather unprecedented decision to suspend indefinitely the boys state basketball tournament due to growing concerns around COVID-19 and coronavirus. Those of you who know us well know that this was a very, very difficult decision, a very painful decision for us, but one we felt was in the best interest of everybody involved.
Schools have been closed indefinitely, but are still letting some kids come get meals. And coaches have said they are staying ready for when the UIL reschedules the state tournament. After 14 seasons at Denton-Guyer, Wildcats head coach John Walsh has resigned. He led the Wildcats to 2 state championships and 4 title appearances, as well as a 131-56 career record at Guyer. That's all we have for this week's episode. To stay up to date with all things inside high school sports, follow our social accounts. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube that will get you ready for the highlight of the sports weekend. Wingstop Inside High School Sports, Saturday at 6:30 p.m. on NBC5, hosted by Pat Doney. Thank you for watching The Warmup, presented by your local North Texas GEICO agents. To find the office nearest you, go to geico.com/DFW. I'm Ashley Billington, and thank you for following Inside High School Sports and watching The Warmup for the last 31 weeks.